Okay, welcome to step one of the Strategy Zones tool. This is the most important part of this process because if we don't get it clear and precise at this point, it's going to get more difficult down the road. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time having you distill all of the elements of your organization down to its essential components, what we're calling the organizational core. And there are three elements of that. One, you're going to be asked to define in some deal of specificity your core clientele. Secondly, you're going to describe your desired mission impact. In other words, how do these people in your core clientele benefit from what you do? And the third part is to define those aspects or qualities of your organization that makes you different or unique or somehow defines in a deeper sense the work that you do. So let's get started.
The first step in the process is to define the elements of your organizational core, and there are three elements. The first one is the core clientele, and you're asked to select the statement that best describes the population at which your services are aimed. And the point here is to really narrow down and be as specific and precise as we can. So if you're serving a general population, that means that what you do is appropriate and accessible to anyone, things like libraries, arts organizations. That really doesn't have a specific population in mind. If that's you, then describe what that general population, or a little bit about that there. If it's a cohort population, which we're defining as a group of individuals who have some common social or economic circumstances, and examples of those would be low-income families, teen moms, unemployed adults, those kinds of things. So for this particular one with the OASIS, which is our model program for this demonstration, they are a residential youth behavioral services organization. And so they serve a population of youth from age 12 to 17 who have a history of behavioral challenges. So they may have been through the court systems, they may have been expelled from school, but that's the group, that's the circumstances that they have in common. A targeted population would be a group that have a set of specialized needs that require ongoing specialized expertise and care throughout their lives. So again, for the OASIS, we've selected the cohort population and then described that group. For mission impact, it's really a way of saying how does your clientele benefit from what you do? And we ask two questions to get at that. The first one is what does your clientele need most from your organization? Recognizing that a lot of people that we serve need lots of other things, but our mission focus is on one aspect of that. So for the OASIS, what their clientele need most from them, they describe as intensive therapeutic intervention in a highly structured environment. The second piece of that is how do you define success with that core clientele? So again, we're getting at your impact. And for the OASIS, they define success, or they define their impact as youth being able to return to the family and or community in a less restrictive environment. The third piece of the organizational core is more open-ended, and it's referred to as your defining qualities. And it's your opportunity to talk about those things that really give you your identity, your signature touch on what you do. It could be a set of underlying values, such as a faith base or a particular philosophy. It could be a specific approach or methodology to your programs and services. And it could be something else. It could also be combinations of these. But again, this is not an opportunity to brainstorm out. It's to really distill down to the essential components. So for the OASIS, they define themselves based on their own methodology for serving the youth. And they develop what they call the comprehensive therapeutic model for youth that they develop based on their experience, their history, and a lot of research on youth and behavioral disorders. So taken together, these three aspects answer the first question that we're going to use as we move forward, which is what are the elements of your organizational core?